Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about PowerShot V10. So let's dive deep into it. Now, V10 is a very weird puppy. Now, this is tailor-made low-cost vlogging camera because nowadays, if you notice people who are doing vlogging seriously, they're generally spending a lot of money, like full-frame camera with f2.8 kind of lens, like serious amount of money, or they have seriously high-end phone to do that. So, lot of money. But here's the deal: what if you don't have that money? So this is going into that niche where, like, if you have GG amounts of money, don't think about it. We, a camera company, have you covered. But if you don't have that GG amounts of money, then this is your option, low cost option. Now, the selling point of this is super small, lightweight and compact body. What does that mean? That simply means you can have jeans and one pocket will have your mobile phone, another will have this puppy. And compact means everything folds up, so you do not have to worry about anything catching in your pocket or something like that. Everything is designed for easy carry away. Basically, the principle behind this camera is that the best camera is the camera that you have on you. It's like, yeah, I have an amazing camera, but it's stuck in my Almira. It's useless. So that's the whole point of it. And this stand is specifically designed to act as a stand. It's not just like a hanging loop. You can actually open it up, hold your camera in multiple angles. So it's actually has some thought put into it. Some people actually use their fingers going through that to hold it. That's up to you. It's a actually thoughtful process, and that's why they put it in that way. Meaning, if you have flat surface, let's say a restaurant or something like that, where you have tables or any flat surface, you just lay it there. You do not have to carry a small tripod. So it's a very thoughtfully designed and integrated, and it has quality stereo microphone. Because right now, what is the most garbage thing about all cameras is generally the microphone, unless it's a camera that is specifically fine-tuned for audio recording. Like there are some Sony's vlogging camera, and this is Canon's camera, where they have actual high quality capsules that can capture quality audio, and then associated circuitry with it. So they actually put some effort into it, meaning if you are close to it, this will be actually useful, meaning you do not have to be like, oh, I bought this, now I have to buy basically Rode Wireless Go 2 or something similar. You don't have to. It's like you can actually buy it and use it. And even with that quality microphone, it has mic in, because they know for a fact, like, mic has this inverse square law attached to it, meaning if you are close to your microphone, basically this much, your microphone to your mic, awesome. The moment this becomes this, yeah, not good. This, no. So only in 1 meter your audio quality will drop exponentially. 2 meters, yeah, good luck with that. 5 meters, yeah, bye bye. So that is why sooner or later you have to realize that microphone has to be close to your face. Even when you are talking about like cinema grade system, they generally have a giant shotgun microphone, and it's as close to their mouth as possible, as long as it's not interfering in the frame. Like if the person is like zoom in, I can guarantee you the frame, shotgun microphone was like this. Like they put it as close as possible, like nothing bypasses physics. And sometimes when they cannot do it, they're like, dude, record in an audio booth. So let that sink in. That's why mic in is a compulsory requirement. Even if it has a good system, sooner or later you will upgrade to a quality microphone like this puppy. So, and then it has HDMI output, meaning if some scenarios you do require a preview monitor, or you are sending the signal into some sort of mixer. And yes, people are investing a lot of money into home streaming, and they have mixers, so that will be a desirable thing. It does use micro SD card, which I do not get why. It does look big enough for a full size SD card, but using micro HDMI card, HDMI I'm saying, micro SD card is frustrating, but it is what it is. This can do 4K 30 FPS and 15 megapixel stills. So you can actually use this to get some okay kind of still shots for your, let's say, thumbnails and all that jazz. So this is a V10. Let's look into the spec of it, because the biggest selling point is this puppy. Basically, it has huge sensor. So how huge is the sensor? Well, it claims 1 inch. Is it the same 1 inch as like, let's say Sony RX100 series? No. So what does 1 inch mean? I have no idea. Like 1 inch means so little that somehow there is 1 inch sensor in a camera phone. So I'm gonna give you a mathematical number, that is 13.2 millimeter multiplied by 8.8 millimeter. So is it bigger than your mobile phone? Absolutely. Much bigger than your mobile phone? Not really. Like bigger? Yes. Exponentially bigger? No. So I do not like take 1 inch with a grain of salt, or 1 inch brick of salt. It does have inbuilt battery, which is fundamentally bad idea, simply because what is the primary thing that weighs down your equipments? It's battery. Like that's why all professional camera, all interchangeable lens camera generally have battery as a replaceable thing. Because here's the deal, I have used this DSLR for like I think 6 years, and I've gone through 2 batteries, and that's normal. That's why professionals always invest in multiple batteries. That's a normal thing, and this also gives you another benefit where it's like, hey, I'm using the battery runner. No, you swap the battery and you are good to go. Here you have to wait for it to charge or run directly. So in those sort of scenario, not really, because at that point, because it will wear down, battery is expendable, it will wear down, and after 2 years or like let's say 1 year of heavy use, you may be a point where it's like, dude, it's not lasting as long as it should, and at that point either you have to throw this puppy away or go to Canon and beg them for replacing the battery, which good luck with that. So that's really not good. Even GoPros knows that, and it uses USB-C power system for that. Now because they made it so compact and everything is so tightly and smoothly made, it has no spot for anything useful. For example, it has only one tripod mount that is on the bottom. Like how many you need? Ideally you need two, one for vertical, one for horizontal. Unless your camera can do it in software. If you cannot do it in software, you do need those two things. It does not have that, so they will sell you a kit of basically a small rig, so to say. Again, it's not available right now, but it should be available quite soon when they do a global launch, so to say. So cage is there, which has cold shoe mounts, and it has cutouts specifically designed for this, so you should be able to utilize your hardware without too much issue or too much hassle to increase your versatility. That's there. Now it does have one good thing, truly good thing, that it has inbuilt neutral density filter. What does that mean? That simply means whenever you are in outdoor, sunlight is kind of powerful light, so it oversaturates everything. So what do? You reduce your ISO. Here's the deal. Still, even at ISO 100, you will reach a point where it's like, nah bro, it's still overexposing. So what is the other vector you control? The other vector you control is shutter speed. Now let's say you are shooting at like a 1/24th of a second for a movie kind of feel. Awesome, but here's the deal. Shutter speed, you can try to go it down. Let's say 1/50th of a second, that would be desirable for motion blur and all that. But if you go even deeper than that, now yeah, you can do that, but problem is it starts to become jittery. The video looks jittery, it looks ugly. For that is the primary reason why when cinematographer use giant lens with like f1.8 kind of lens with giant sensor like full frame, they always put ND filter on top of it to make sure they can tone it down as much as possible. So this has inbuilt system. Basically, assume this way: there is a wheel which has like 4 holes. One hole is like empty, nothing is there, and one is basically ND, half light. Another is twice as that, another is twice as that, like 3 steps of ND is there, which is awesome. It's a really good feature and generally found in very high-end cinema cameras. Not all cinema camera, but many do have it, and it's a desirable function. So that's truly clever use of protocols, space, so to say. And it does have inbuilt protocol for webcam, meaning nowadays streaming is a big puppy, so you just use this and connect it, because webcam technology have been stuck in like basically 2005 and they never progressed after that. Like C922 is a Logitech camera and nothing actually surpasses it. There are many cameras after that, but nothing truly surpasses it. There's like one Elgato one which is huge but does not have autofocus. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like webcam is surprisingly behind, and it kind of makes sense because people who are serious about it, they generally use a camera as a webcam. So this can directly act as that way. But be mindful, it will be limited to full HD 30 fps. Is that an issue? Not for conferencing, because here's the deal. I use Google Meet and it's limited to 720p. You use let's say Zoom, you are still limited to full HD, unless there is maybe a paid variant I do not know about, but generally most system is limited to. But if you are doing streaming, you may want more than that. Even though this puppy can do 4K, it cannot dump 4K as a video footage using USB-C. Why? USB-C is limited to USB 2.0, not 3.0. So that is a weird limitation. So you may desire using HDMI output. It does have contrast-based autofocus. Is it as useless as Panasonic? Hell no, it's much better than that. However, do not expect this to be as reliable as high-end dual pixel autofocus or high-end Sony's face detect autofocus. Do not expect that. Is it good? Yes. Is it awesome? No. Like, do not expect that. It's good enough. Now, clean HDMI output is there. That's why I specified. If you need a scenario where you want to use this camera as a proper 4K streaming system, you have to send the footage through HDMI rather than USB, because you cannot do that. So these are the specs of it. Now, overall, what is this camera? It's ancient camera. Basically, the touchscreen in this, it's good that Canon learned that touchscreen is supposed to be used, but sad part is like it's tiny. This is the frame, and this much area is wasted. It's almost one, this area of your thumb. Like this is a Kai YouTuber, amazing YouTuber. I have linked the video down below. But he's not huge. He's not like, gigantic kind of dude. And his fingers are also not gigantic. But his deal, he's having a hard time clicking those things because again, even though the frame is okay, it's not great, but like they're like, what if we use 1990s, LCD technology? It's like, dude, so much wasted area. It's not even symmetric. Like it's not even symmetric. It's like, what the hell? It's genuinely cheap. It's like, who cares, And I'm genuinely shocked because here's the deal, smartwatches nowadays have better display than that. Smartwatches. And cheap smartwatches I'm talking about, not even like top quality ones. It's like genuinely garbage. So that will be the first hassle that people have to, unless you have very sharpy, pointy fingers, you will have a hard time using this puppy properly. And it has micro HDMI. It's like, why? Like, why Canon married to micro HDMI? I genuinely don't get it, because again, there is an actual need where it's like, hey, the camera can do 4K, my streaming service can absorb 4K, why not I send it? But they're like, you have to send it through micro HDMI. That cable breaks if you look at it wrong. That cable is fragile AF. Why the heck you're using that? Why? Like, and it's not like you're running low on space. You don't put that on like, giant camera bodies. So it's just like, no, what if we F the customer, What if we burn the customer? It's like, buy tiny cables and that breaks, every time. Why? Like, it personally bothers me. It's like, why? And heck, I have Canon 800D. Each has my mini HDMI. Like, again, not great. Full HDMI, awesome. Like, every company does that. Nikon does that. Fujifilm does that. Basically, Sony does that. And the only company that is like, no, we have to piss on the planet Earth, it's Canon. It's like, there is a legitimate reason to have full HDMI, and you're like, what if we give micro HDMI, What if we just piss on the customer? So that I generally don't get. And it has no body cold shoe. It should have at least one cold shoe, because you can mount at least one thing. Right now, if you do not have the rig, it's like they design the camera around the rig. They know for a fact the moment you want to plug this, it's like, nah, you can't really do it. So it's really frustrating that it should have at least one, that. And not to mention, it does not even have enough tripod spot. Now, this goes to another aspect, because for vertical video, you have to rotate the camera. This is a vlogging specific camera. They could not design a software that can do that in, video format. Like at least for full HD. If they were like, hey, if you want 4K, we do not have enough resolution, I get it. But for basically HD, it should be there. It's like, no, you have to tilt the camera. Okay, I'm gonna tilt the camera. Will the stand work? No. Do you have another tripod hole there? No. What the hell? It's genuinely bad. And here's the deal. What is everybody has nowadays? They have this, a Bluetooth headset. Of course, not necessarily exact this one, but you get the point. Like, Bluetooth is there. This camera has Bluetooth chip. Did they upgraded the firmware? It's like, hey, and like, this personally boils my blood. It's like, no camera company has learned the fact that we have Bluetooth chip. Bluetooth is a 1980s technology. What if we use it? What if we use this for audio monitoring and using a microphone? Like, will it be as high quality as Rode Wireless Go 2? Hell no. Will it be better than onboard, especially if you are 2 meters away? Absolutely. But they're like, what if we don't use it? Sir, you have Bluetooth. No. What if we don't use the Bluetooth? So think of it this way, like, how much your life would be easier. Let's say you had a quality microphone attached to it, using Bluetooth headphone just to easily figure it out, because it does not have a headphone out. So it truly bothers me. And the skin effect, it has skin effect, like basically fancy Instagram filter which it cannot process. It will only give you 5-minute clips. Gordon Lang figured it out. It's like, if you try to have skin smoothing, which many people will do that, and they're like, yeah, clips are limited to 5 minutes. So if you are doing some long, basically beauty production or anything where you are actually doing it for long term, long as in like 10, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it's like, nah bro, 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes clip. And any function you utilize in this camera will disable some other function. For example, if you zoom in, digital zoom in, because the sensor is big and it does have enough megapixel that you can crop in and still retain a 4K image, it's like, no. If you do that, image stabilization disables, even though image stabilization does the exact same thing. It crops in and then moves it. But if you do zoom, it's like, no, I'm not gonna move in. Why? You zoomed in. It's like, bro, what the hell? This is one of those things where it's like, who designed your algorithms? It's like, is there really that limited horsepower in your basically DizzX processor? Really? That limited? And it's like, they removed raw function. Because still, people like, for example, YouTubers or even Instagram, you have thumbnails. They like the idea of taking a still shot that are useful. This camera hardware is directly taken from G7X. Why don't you give the JPEG plus RAW option? Like, remove RAW, like put RAW into a subcategory that only if you know what you are doing, you can access it. Otherwise, it's JPEG default. That's awesome. So people who do not want to tamper with it, they don't tamper with it. People who know what they're doing, they can tamper with it. It's like, you limited its capacity for no reason. You removed something. and there is no wind guard for mic. Every camera company figured it out. Like Sony, they have a wind guard. Rode Wireless Good, they have a wind guard system. DJI, they have wind guard system. You have a microphone, it's useless if you do not have wind guard, even on little wind. I'm not talking about like hurricane class wind. Little wind, done. They do not have that. It's like, no, buy this magnetic loop and glue it. I'm not joking. Glue it on your camera, and then we're gonna give you another magnet that you just stick on top of it. This is a first party solution that they are hoping for. Like Zoom, it's like, who came up with, oh, and not to mention, even though it can do 4K, do not actually expect it to do 4K for long, because it will overheat in 20 minutes. It does not have that 30-minute recording limit, but it does overheat, and that's from Canon's own representative. It's like, yeah, it will kind of overheat. It can do full HD for very long. I'm like, how ancient is this camera? It's just basically repackaged old point and shoot, and nobody actually put thought into using it. Because SD, just imagine, this is 58 millimeters. Imagine 58 millimeters, like that's 6 centimeters. Not much space. So it's truly abomination. It's like, what the hell? Again, if they have improved minor things like, hey, Bluetooth, use it. USB 3.0, HDMI full. But like, no. What if we give garbage? You know? What if we remove the functionality that we have been giving in PowerShots for so long? What if we remove raw function? It's like, it does not even have time lapse. What the hell? Now here's the deal. You can not judge a camera in a vacuum. You have to judge what you can buy at that sort of price or similar enough price. Here's the deal. The price of this puppy on basically Canon's website is around around 40,000 rupees. If you go to 47,000 rupees, it's a bit more, not too much more, bit more. That sort of price zone, you can buy GoPro HERO11. Now, what do you get for that? You get a smaller sensor, absolutely. That is like 1 by 1/9 inch. I have no idea. That's why inch means nothing. I'm going to metric system. 6.85 millimeter multiplied by 5.14 millimeters. Now, is it small? Yes. Is it very small? No. It's more or less the same as like flagship mobile phones. However, because the ratio is very close to square, it has some magical property. Magical property number 1, it is very waterproof. Again, that's from GoPro. It is robust, meaning if you drop it, it's not like poof, and capable also. So all those things, and that square sensor gives you square video. What's the benefit of square video? One video file allows you to post on 3 formats, basically 16:9 for your YouTube output, square output for Instagram, and vertical for TikTok. You can, like, one video and you have 3 things taken care of it directly. It's like, bro, I got this. That's the benefit of having a quality sensor. Not it's like, oh, you're gonna rotate it. It's like, really? In 2023, that's your solution. We're gonna rotate the camera. It's like, you know, you have that shark meme, that shark is coming and you rotate the shark. It's like, really? That's all they can, like this can do. And here's the deal. GoPro can easily do 240 FPS on full HD and 120 FPS on 4K. This puppy cannot even do 60 FPS, 4K. This puppy can do 120. Like, that's fundamentally different class of speed that you can get. And let's not even talk about image stabilization. Canon image stabilization is gibberish compared to this puppy, Horizon Lock. So we do not talk about event drive, and it has so many other features, like for example, time-lapse functions built into it. You know, all other functions that makes your life easier. It can also act as a webcam, and it has replaceable battery, meaning you buy it, you do not have to throw it away after 3 years. Or let's say in some scenario, people forget that they have a device, they get busy in life, and then randomly pull it out in like 2-3 years, and the battery is dead. No problem, swap a new battery. So fundamentally speaking, at this sort of price, unless you personally have bad experience with GoPro, there is not actually any reason, especially if you tone this puppy down to full HD. It has so much horsepower, so much battery life, so much capacity to endure heat, that it's like, bro, it's not even a competition. It's not even fun competition. It's like this. Oh, by the way, this also has 10-bit video output. Let that sink in. 10-bit. Compare that to Canon, which is a video camera, 8-bit. It's like, really, like, Canon is working their ass off to remove function. They're like, and even that executive that was talking about the camera, it's like, no, if they want high speed, we have this. It's like, that's the Canon's every answer. It's like, why don't you make a good camera? No. If we make the good camera, what about our garbage camera that we have to sell? It's like, that was the primary reason why, even after European Union removed the law of that 30-minute limit, they did not instantly do that. Once Sony started to sell enough, once they started to see their market shrink, it's like, whoa, what do you mean people actually want to buy it? It's like, yeah. It's like, but what if, like, I want you to spend $5,000? Like, nah, I'm not spending $5,000 for your C series cameras. It's like, the only reason to jump to C series is like more than 30-minute recording. No. So that's the whole aspect here. GoPro Hero 11 is far better, far more cost-effective equipment, and it has smaller footprint, is far more robust, far more reliable physically speaking, and capability is not even comparable. Like this versus jittery. It's like, oh, and you do this, it will disable that. You do that, it will disable that. It's like not even comparable. So this was my presentation on basically Canon's PowerShot V10. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.